Hi everyone. Welcome to Daily Recaps. Today, I am going to explain an interesting movie called Beta Test. Hope you like it. Enjoy the video and take care. The movie starts with an interview of Andrew Kincaid, the CEO of worldwide game developer Sentinel, the world's fastest growing video game firm. Kincaid recently made headlines for speaking out against the right to keep and bear arms. He argues that gun ownership in the United States is an outmoded tradition that is incapable of protecting Americans. As a result, he has proposed a strategy to keep video games from becoming violent. Someone can play Sentinel's video game elsewhere if they wish to shoot someone. Orson Creed, the Sentinel's top security officer, is spotted monitoring his wife Abby's interview. As the reporter questions Kincaid about Orson's desire to get Sentinel into military contracts, he stands by and watches. Soon after, Abby begins preparing for them to depart in a hurry. She begs Orson to hurry up, but he's engrossed on his computer screen, listening intently to every word. Kincaid says to the reporter that he and Orson are on opposite sides of the aisle. This isn't the first time Orson has attempted to seize intellectual property. Kincaid, on the other hand, pledges that this will be Orson's final try. After seeing the interview, Orson becomes anxious, and Abby consoles him. She expresses her gratitude by saying that he is not like Kincaid, Orson, or Abby. The couple then proceed to depart with their packed bag, but a bunch of armed guys break into their home and kidnap Abby. Orson tries to defend himself with a knife, but one of the goons knocks him unconscious. The film then cuts to Bernard, a Sentinel employee, Max Droy, a video game champion, and the company's very own beta tester, has received a package containing the latest Sentinel game. Max has the game ready to beta test as he plugs it into his PC. He gets a call from Princess, his female Sentinel tech support technician. Max has never met her, but he has formed affections for her through time. Max turns on the game after his pre-game ritual, and Princess informs him that, unlike past games, he cannot change this one, much to his chagrin. She also informs him that this is the game in which players are able to interact with the actual world. The picture then returns to Orson's house, which has been plundered by the goons. Abby stands there watching as the goons place a device around the neck of an unconscious Orson. As Orson regains consciousness, they activate the device before departing in a truck with Abby. When Max first starts playing the game, he immediately falls in love with the game's style and finds it realistic. He also thinks the game's lack of a menu, choices, or loading time is strange. Max takes a picture from the game and recognizes Orson and his wife Abby. Max's character then examines himself in the mirror. Max finds blood on the walls of his character, but he ignores it. Max is exploring the home of his video game character and discovers a phone in the kitchen that reads "Play me" in the video. One of the goons from earlier in the movie named Zane addresses Orson, who is revealed to be Max's video game character. It turns out that what happens in the game reflects what happens in the real world. The man informs Orson that he will be subjected to a battery of tests. Orson will have 90 minutes to fulfill each goal, and if he fails, Abby will lose one body part per goal. The first task for Orson is to gain access to the National Bank, which is going to be looted. Obtain the contents of the safety deposit box 121 unnoticed. Orson is sweating hard, but Max is oblivious to the fact that the game is linked to real life. Orson is escorted out of the house and into the awaiting automobile by Max. He can't seem to figure out how to start the car, and Princess comes to the rescue him and offers to stay with him throughout the game. As Max's character leaves, the media reports a robbery in the Southtown branch of National Bank. After arriving at the bank, Max looks for a safe entry, and he eventually sneaks into the bank through a window. As the robbery is going down, he crawls through the bank and comes across a bank employee attempting to flee the thieves. Max inquires about the 121 safety deposit box with the lady. The lady accuses him of being insane and threatens him that he will kill himself. Orson, on the other hand, is adamant, and the lady guides him to her desk. Orson takes the keys out of the drawer and enters the locker area. Max loses signal as he comes closer to the box, and Orson regains consciousness and tries to remove the gadget from his neck. Max, on the other hand, immediately regains control and opens the deposit box. He discovers a gun and a note instructing him to kill the robbers and grab the money inside. Princess reminds Max not to kill any hostages as it would lead him to failing the mission. Max tells her to relax, saying he can always reload and autosave the game one by one. Max starts taking down the robbers as he makes his way to the money. The hostages scream in horror as Orson and the robbers exchange fire. Max eventually grabs the money and flees in the car. After getting to a safe place, Max decides to pause the game and take a snack break. He is unable to pause the game, though, and Princess offers to investigate. Max walks into his kitchen and sees the lady from the bank on television, giving an interview about the crime to a news channel. Orson Creed saved her life, she says. Max finally realizes that the events of the computer game are mirrored in real life. Max, who was terrified, attempted to phone the cops but was unsuccessful. When Max confronts Princess about the game, she tells him to keep playing, but Max turns it off. Zane appears on the screen and instructs him to pay close attention. Max is told that if he tries to turn off the game or call the authorities, Zane will kill Princess and frame Max for robbing the bank. Max also learns that the money he robbed from the bank has been deposited in his bank account, and Zane's henchmen have surrounded his property, left with no choice. Max reluctantly continues playing the game, and Zane orders him to go to a private school a few miles north of the school, which is set to be shot up while driving. Princess explains that she didn't have a choice, and that she didn't have a choice, but Max doesn't believe her. When Orson arrives at the school, he is told to protect the gunman from the cops. He infiltrates the campus and is eventually confronted by the school shooter. He tries to stop the gunman, but the youngster begs Orson to let him go, claiming that Zane will murder his mother. When Orson lets the boy escape, he is attacked by school security. Orson easily takes them down and tearfully watches as the boy kills more children. After Max reluctantly helps the school shooter escape, Zane proceeds to give him another mission. But Max abruptly hangs up Zane's call and dials his own phone number, despite Princess's protests. Max finally speaks to Orson and tells him about everything. The movie then cuts to Kincaid's apartment, where he has held Abby hostage. It is revealed that Kincaid and Abby have a history. Kincaid inquires as to whether Orson is aware of their previous connection, to which she retaliates aggressively. Meanwhile, after fighting the thugs, Max escorts Orson back to his house and fights off Zane's henchmen. Orson finally meets Max, but owing to the gadget on his neck, he is unable to communicate. Princess is asked by Max to unblock Carson's speech. When Princess pauses, Max threatens to cut relations with her, forcing her to comply. Orson is able to talk for the first time, and he fears that Max's house is bugged. Orson discloses that he devised every security mechanism for Sentinel, including bugging everything, which Max finds hard to accept. Max has received from Sentinel can be used to monitor him after debugging the apartment. Max and Orson sit down for a drink and talk about Sentinel. Orson reveals that he created the technology that connects people to video game characters, and it is called Control X. It was a prototype meant for surveillance, but Orson believed that it was better suited for the military because he's a former soldier and lost a couple of really close friends to war. The goal of Control X is to create stronger warriors with quick reactions and 2 pairs of eyes. Kincaid, according to Orson, is unconcerned about gun regulation and has ulterior reasons. The chip on Orson's neck, which generates loud beeping noises, is then seen by Max. Orson begs Max to remove the chip when the remote control is brought close to it, but Max is apprehensive and asks for a moment to prepare himself. He walks out and, for some reason, drags one of the unconscious henchmen named Professional behind him. Inside the house, Kincaid's live broadcast is interrupted, and when it resumes, he discovers that Orson has removed the chip, leaving him with no choice. Kincaid finally reveals himself to Max and threatens to kill Princess if he doesn't comply to prove what he's capable of doing. Kincaid kills a random female Sentinel employee, left with no choice. Max agrees to play the game again. Through the game, Abby gives Max the next task, for which Orson is to go to the ground floor of the Needle, where Caleb and Gilo is having dinner there, and Gilo is expected to be killed by Orson. It is then revealed that, unbeknownst to Kincaid, Orson has implanted the Sentinel chip in the Professional's neck and has deduced Kincaid's plans. Angelo has 51 of the world's largest server files. He discloses. Kincaid owns 40% of the company. Alongside Angelo, Kincaid could buy up all of the shares and take control of the world if he got out of the way. Max escorts Professional to the Needle after discovering of Kincaid's sinister plans, while Orson tries to confront Kincaid and save his wife. While driving to the Needle, Max receives a call from Princess, who informs him that she is now safe and offers to assist him. Max intercepts Angelo's motorcade near the famous skyscraper and kills Angelo. However, Kincaid gets suspicious when Angelo doesn't recognize Orson. Before he's killed, Orson arrives outside Kincaid's office and Zane and his henchmen try to stop him. However, Orson easily neutralizes the goons and heads to Kincaid's office. Kincaid threatens to shoot Abby, forcing Orson to hand over his weapon. Max has also been subdued in his apartment by Zane's other henchman, the surgeon. Orson inquires as to why Kincaid fired up a school, and the latter responds that the youngsters are war casualties, intended to persuade the government to enact a gun control bill that restricts firearms to sporting events. An insane Kincaid once said that sometimes the best way to improve things is to make them worse. Kincaid has no authority to control people, according to Orson. Even if they make mistakes, Orson keeps Kincaid entertained. Before the goon notices it, Max drives the professional to his home beneath the surgeon's nose. Professional appears and takes him out at the Sentinel headquarters. Orson takes Kincaid on, while Abby kills the latter's goon as Orson and Kincaid fight. Max arrives at the Kincaid almost kills Orson, until Max shows up and shoots him dead. Max becomes the CEO of Sentinel and promises to return the company back to its roots, humanity. That's all from the movie. If you really want more interesting videos like this, then like and subscribe to Daily Recaps. See you again. Take care.